Hello, sir. This is Vinamra from First Post. I had a question for Sudipto and Vipul. My question is, before you made the Kerala story, were you both aware about the atrocities that were being committed against these women? And secondly, Kerala has the highest literacy rate in India. So for the ISIS to be able to successfully brainwash as many as 32,000 women, was it an appalling favor for the two of you?
Do I need to tell you about 32,000? Already we discussed. I think you heard the answer, right? नहीं, अभी मैं आपको बता दूं, ये जो एनालॉजी है ना, the 32,000, I mean केरला का हाईएस्ट लिटरेसी रेट है, तो इसमें केरल में इस तरह की इंसिडेंट्स कैसे हो सकता है? केरल में ना दो केरला एग्जिस्ट करता है। मतलब मुझे बोलने में कोई बुरा नहीं लगेगा। हमारी रिलीज की दूसरे दिन एक कोई जर्नलिस्ट लड़की ने मुझे फोन की थी कि मेरी इंटरव्यू लेना चाहते हैं। मैंने बोला था आप अगर केरला जाएंगे और जहां से श्रुति आती है ना उसकी गांव में जाएंगे, जहां से चित्रा आती है उसकी जगह जाएंगे, जहां से ये कन्वर्शन की इतना बड़ा रैकेट चलता है वहां पे जाएंगे, तो मैं आपकी इंटरव्यू दूंगा। ट्रस्ट मी, वो लड़की नेक्स्ट डे केरला गई, इन सबसे मिली, कसरगोड, कोयिकोड, ये सब जगह पे अकेली घूमी और वहां से रिपोर्ट लेके आए। वो उस कन्वर्शन सेंटर में गए जहां पे इन लोगों को कन्वर्ट किया गया था। तो मेरी कहने का मतलब है केरला दो एग्जिस्ट करता है। एक केरला जो पिक्चर पोस्टकार्ड जैसे हैं, बैक वाटर, खूबसूरत लैंडस्केप, कलरीपट्टू, डांस, मार्शल आर्ट, हाथी, क्या नहीं, मतलब सब कुछ दिखता है जो दुनिया भर में जानते हैं। और एक केरला जो बसता है ना, जो नॉर्थर्न पार्ट ऑफ केरला है, मलप्पुरम, कासरगोड, कोयिकोड, जो साउथ कर्नाटका की मैंगलोर के साथ जुड़ते हैं, इंक्लूडिंग मैंगलोर। ये एक टेरर नेटवर्क की हब है। यहां से जितनी कहानियां आपको सुनेंगे, जितना जानने का पाएंगे, ये तब आपको पता चलेगा कि हाईएस्ट लिटरेसी रेट इन द ह्यूमन इंडेक्स, द वुमेन हेल्थ, चाइल्ड हेल्थ की टॉप में रहने वाले एक स्टेट में अंडर द कारपेट क्या होने जा रहा है। और इसके लिए हमारे साथ बहस की जगह अगर हम आपकी मन में एक्चुअली ऑर्गेनिकली क्वेश्चन पैदा किए, जस्ट नॉट टू डाउन अस, नॉट टू रिडिक्यूल अस, बीइंग अ जर्नलिस्ट, इफ एनीथिंग हैज कम टू योर माइंड, गो टू केरला, गो टू कासरगोड, गो टू कोयिकोड, वहां से रिपोर्ट करिए तो पता चलेगा कि इस कहानी की सच्चाई कहां छुपी हुई है।
एक और आपको बात मैं बताना चाहता हूं, CNN इंटरनेशनल की एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री है जहां पे केरल के कुछ गांव में शरिया लॉ एग्जिस्ट करता है। उसकी पूरी डॉक्यूमेंट्री है, आपको वो डॉक्यूमेंट्री जरूर देखनी चाहिए। और ये वो पढ़े लिखे 100% लिटरेसी रेट वाले स्टेट की हम बात कर रहे हैं जहां पे गांव के गांव शरिया लॉ से चलते हैं। और CNN के उन जर्नलिस्टों को कितना ऑपोजिशन उस गांव में, वो सब डॉक्यूमेंट्री में उन्होंने दिखाया है। तो देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ मटेरियल आउट देयर, हम सिर्फ देखना नहीं चाह रहे हैं। ट्रस्ट मी, इस फिल्म को बनाने से पहले मुझे भी बहुत कुछ नहीं पता था। अब मैं कुछ थोड़ा बहुत ज्यादा जानता हूं, इसलिए मैं कॉन्फिडेंस से कह सकता हूं क्योंकि मैंने बहुत कुछ देखा, मैंने बहुत कुछ एक्सपीरियंस किया। यू वांटेड टू ऐड टू दैट, प्लीज।
Hello. Yeah, there is definitely documentation in terms of people who, there are about cases who have gone from Kerala, joined the IS. The most recent is that of a news disclosed by the Chief Minister of Kerala, Shri Pinarayi Vijayan himself. It was about Praju, who converted as Muhammad Amin. This is a news from Balusheri. I am just quoting the news. Praju's wife, a native of Balusheri, learned about the whereabouts of her husband who fled 8 years ago after Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's statement in a press conference. Pinarayi Vijayan, who was speaking in the context of narcotic jihad, had revealed that Praju, a resident of Turutiyar, Balusheri, was included in the list of Malayalis who joined the IS. Praju, Muhammad Amin, who is also accused in the Kinanur Mangayam Amina Uma murder case, fled the country after causing a huge financial burden on his wife and family. The wife says that it is no surprise that he has joined terrorist organization because he would do anything for money. He has married 4 times. Praju converted to Islam 3 years before marrying her. The young woman revealed that the man who had strong religious beliefs had forced her, a Sunni believer, to be radical in her beliefs and told her that if she did so, she would get money as she wished. In 2009, Amina Uma, an elderly woman, was murdered by living alone in her house in Mangayam, Variamala. Due to lack of evidence, the court acquitted Praju and another accused, that is in the murder case, due to lack of evidence. This was mentioned by the Chief Minister of Kerala himself. We have different cases, recorded evidence which was reported in news itself of different people who converted or got radicalized, or people who belong to a certain community or region themselves who got radicalized and joined terrorist organization. No, not just IS but other terrorist organizations also. Not just that, there is recordable evidence of cases of love jihad in which the girl was found dead, girl or girls were found dead in suspicious situations. For example, Anila Veni Julie, students of Ambalapura, all this is related to Kerala. Anila Veni Julie, students of Ambalapura Model Higher Secondary School. Vrinda Papinisheri Kannu. We have at least 18 such cases of reported suspicious deaths linked with love jihad and other killings.
Ma'am, we'll give you a mic. We'll give you a mic, ma'am. Just a moment. We'll give you a mic.
Hello. Yeah, hi. This is Runa from Virginia. Director साहब, I will definitely say 32,000 या 25 या 30,000 मायने नहीं रखता है, मायने क्राइम रखता है. जो उन 3 या 4 लड़कियों के साथ हुआ है वो भी क्राइम है, और नंबर्स डेफिनेटली डज नॉट डिसाइड कि क्राइम की ग्रेविटी क्या होगी. यहाँ पर मैं आपके साथ ही श्रुति या चित्रा जो भी जवाब देना चाहें, आप चूंकि पढ़ाई के जरिए लोगों को वापस सनातन धर्म या अपने किसी और धर्म में लाने की कोशिश कर रही है, तो क्या पढ़ाया जाता है और क्या दिखाया जाता है कि क्या सही है और गलत है?
Hello. Yeah. See, when a person who has been radicalized or brainwashed into a certain ideology is brought to our institution, they are in a particular mindset that they are not even willing to converse with us. If you tell them, if you try to tell them morals, or if you try to tell them something about good values or something, they are not willing to listen. They say, I don't want to listen to something related to Hindu Dharma. I do not want you to quote from Vedas. I do not want you to want to hear anything from the Bhagavad Gita. I want to talk only on the basis of the Quran and the other authentic scriptures of Islam. So that is where the challenge is. So unless we ourselves are not well versed, or we haven't learned the scriptures, authentic scriptures which are leading these people, or certain verses from the authentic scriptures which is motivating these people into adopting radical or anti-national mindsets, and counsel them and bring them back by telling them how fallacious these are, or how dangerous these are, or how they have been fooled or brainwashed into believing that something like this is the words of God or divine inspiration. We have to know ourselves, or we have to be educated ourselves. So what we, answering your question, what we do, how we do, we counsel them based on comparative religion. That is, along with Sanatana Dharma, we also teach, or we also impart teachings in the scriptures or teachings of the other religions. We teach Sanatana Dharma also, we teach all other religions, not just Islam, we teach Christian. I mean, we have studied and researched and taught about all other religions. And then we teach them the real history of India, that is the undistorted history of India, cultural, social, and the true history of India's freedom struggle. What we are taught in our textbooks today is mainly biased history. So we teach them the real history, which is based on facts and evidences, and the current happenings. And we also provide them spiritual counseling based on Yoga Vidya and meditation and certain sadhanas. This is an overall comprehensive syllabus which is not, it's not like somebody comes, you talk to them, you can revert them in 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 hours. If it's purely ideological, just a 2 or 3 hours conversation is enough to bring someone back or de-radicalize them. For example, in the case of Anaga, she was brainwashed so ideologically, but it was purely ideological conversion. So in her case, it just took about 3 hours to make her realize the fallacies of what she was made to believe and adopt such a mindset and bring her back. But if there is some other angle involved, for example, loud trap or narcotic jihad or different other traps, it takes time. You need to be very patient, and the person has to cooperate, the parents have to cooperate. So it's a very long process and a challenging one too.